What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. So you just hit level 90 at midnight and now the game suddenly throws at you like 400 different systems and you're like, which one do I do? And you're like, you've got delves, world quests, raids, crests, catalysts, weekly quests, renown, mythic plus, professions, bonus rolls, prey hunts. It's a mess, and if you don't know what you're actually doing, then you're gonna get lost really quickly. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the exact order I would do everything on a fresh level 90 character. And very quickly, before we begin, we are getting close to 1,000 subscribers now. So if you enjoy practical World of Warcraft guides that cut through the BS and actually help you progress faster, hit subscribe. It massively helps the channel. So you just hit level 90 and this is what you should do first. Buy auction house gear. The second I hit level 90, I instantly open up the auction house. I'm not trying to build a perfect character here. I'm just trying to get my character to stop feeling like a wet paper towel. So buy cheap item level upgrades. Usually there are loads of pieces sitting there for a couple hundred gold each. And in all honesty, you can avoid overpriced nonsense. It's going to quickly be replaced by just playing the game. Your goal is to simply push your item level up high enough to comfortably start doing actual content. This usually gets you somewhere around eye level 190 to 200 immediately. That's a huge power jump for basically zero effort. From this point, you're going to start to feel a little bit overwhelmed because you're not sure if you should be doing prey hunts, delves, weekly quests, world boss, mythic dungeons, looking for raid. What do I do? Well, my friends, what you should immediately start to focus on is just completing the world boss kill, which you can press the map and you can find where the world boss is located on that particular week. Then you complete the weekly quest, which should give you an option as to what activity you want to do, whether it is complete world quests or complete delves. Whatever it is, you need to complete that first. Prioritize weekly quest and world boss first. The world boss itself takes like 2 minutes if you use the group finder. To use the group finder, it's really simple. Simply select it on the map, and then on the right side on the quest finder, you should see a little looking for group box appear. Click that and then sign up to a looking for group to complete the world boss. The world boss can offer some solid loot options. However, do bear in mind that sometimes it will give you random pieces of gear that will go in the war bank for any future ults you've got. If you're super unlucky and you don't get any gear, at least you get some gold at the very least. Right, let's just say you've completed your world boss and you've completed the weekly quests. It's now time to grab all your weekly caches. A lot of people underestimate how important these are early on. You get gear, crests, currencies, gold, reputation, progression systems, all various different useful things. Now, as I'm opening up these, I'm making sure I get all my world quests completed. And personally, for an add-on for world quests, just to make it a little bit easier, I actually like to make sure I get the add-on world quest tracker, as this massively speeds up this process. In terms of quests, I like to prioritize gold world quests, gear upgrades, important caches, and special assignments. Special assignments are so useful, it's really worth doing those when possible because they offer really good gear options, especially at the early stage. Once you've done your weekly quests and the world boss, and maybe you've done a few world quests, it's time to hit up that Soirée in Eversong Woods. The Soirée is one that loads of people skip for some reason, but there's a really good quest that is available on every character every week, resetting on Wednesdays, that once completed gives you a solid reward of gold, gear, useful materials, and this will help you massively early on, and even later on you can still do it for that easy 2,000 gold every week. Now, you can get up to 4 or 5 quests from the Soirée, but in all honesty, the main one to do is fortifying the runestones, and that's a looking for group quest. Super easy. Join a group and just blast it, fly to wherever you need to fly on the map and complete it. It should only take you about 3 minutes. Now, if time walking is available at the time that you're personally hitting level 90, then you will probably have a weekly quest to do time walking. I really recommend doing your 5 dungeons weekly for that quest, as you can get a really good piece of equipment from that quest. On top of that, time walking is pretty good for just giving you some quick and easy loot, especially on a fresh character. It will typically get champion gear, hero gear, extra drops, and weekly cash rewards. Now, let's say you've done that, it's time to actually jump into delves, but we're not going to do any old delves. delves, we're aiming for Bountiful delves. This is where your character is really going to explode in power. Delves can be tricky, but they get easier as you gear up. I personally like to do delves in tank spec as it's just make sure I pretty much never die. If you don't have a tank spec, then maybe pop your follower into heal mode or tank mode so you can stay alive easily. The level we are aiming for these Bountiful delves is tier 8. Tier 8 is as realistic as possible, whilst also maintains that you'll get good gear. You'll get consistent rewards without the insanely annoying difficulty of the mobs destroying you at every opportunity. Now, quick tip as you're completing Bountiful delves, don't just blast through and ignore everything and just do the objectives. Make sure you are killing the special elites, which on the minimap, they will have a little helmet above them. Make sure you're killing those as they do improve your reward at the end. And on top of this, if you get any treasure maps from other activities that will benefit your delve, make sure you use those as the treasure maps are actually really good at improving your reward at the end of the day in that delve. Completing all of the Bountiful delves available on that particular day or couple of days should get your item level to around 230 to 240 item level. And it all obviously depends on your luck. Now, at this point, you've done all your Bountiful delves, you've done your weekly quest, you've done your world boss, you've done some world quests, you've done the Soirée. It's time to fix your weak gear slots. To do this, open up your character panel, which is press C, and then you'll see where you are really missing out on particular gear. You've got a few different options on replacing this gear. Either you jump into some Mythic Plus dungeons at a low level, or maybe you've got some friends to carry you through. If you can't do that, then perhaps it is time to craft some gear. This is effectively where you can make use of some of those various different bits of currencies or shards you've been getting from just completing world activities, and you can actually have some specifically crafted gear from the work order system that they've got in Midnight. I personally did this in order to bump my eye level up, as having a couple of weak gear pieces can really hold you back. Just bear in mind that later on you are going to want to make sure you are crafting 2 pieces of equipment which have embellishments on, as this will drastically increase your damage, your healing, or even your survival as a tank. At this point, I'm hoping that you have no more weak gear slots and you're ready to upgrade your gear. It's finally time to spend your crests, and please stop hoarding them forever. There's no point. You're never gonna need them for a future point. Just spend them. I see people terrified of wasting crests while sitting there unable to get invited to groups because their item level is too low. Just use the crests. You can always get more. Upgrade your gear, push your item level higher so you can access better delves, better raids, Mythic Plus groups, stronger weekly vault rewards. Progression matters more than sitting on currencies forever. As an addition, if you are really looking for extra activities you could do as a solo player, then you could go ahead and complete the Stormarian Assault, which is over in the Void Storm. This will give you an extra option for gear choices, which will reward you with a cache. You open the cache and you might get a nice piece of equipment to replace one of those weaker gear slots. Now, whilst you're over in the Void Storm, I highly recommend completing your bonus role questline, which you can start by speaking to Decimus in the Howling Ridge Void Storm. Since recording this video, a new system has come out, which is called the Ascendant Void Shards. This is effectively something that's tied to the bonus role system. So once you've done that questline, you'll eventually get access to Ascendant Void Shards. Once you get 5 Ascendant Void Shards, you can combine them to basically be able to upgrade a piece of equipment, whether it is your trinkets or whether it's your weapon. They must be max eye level in order to upgrade them, and this will basically empower the piece of equipment, hugely giving it an even higher item level. This is really worth doing, and you'll naturally get these by just doing things like completing tier 11 delves, void rituals, or Mythic Plus dungeons. I do believe you get them from raid as well, but it's worth noting that you can get a lot of these by just completing basic activities at the end game in World of Warcraft Midnight. Now, as you've done that, something else I would personally recommend, not just for a bit of equipment, but also just for the sake of progression, I'd recommend completing your Abundance quest. To complete this, open the world map and find where the current Abundance event is, then head on over to there and use your Shards of Dun Dun to complete Abundance abundant harvests. This will come in handy later as it rewards you with a currency you need to build your top level profession gear. You won't be able to do it unless you have that currency. By completing activities of World of Warcraft, you'll get access to a vault every Wednesday, which will reward you with better gear. Now, sometimes you'll get incredible gear options on a Wednesday from this vault, and sometimes you might get a poor reward. If you get a poor reward, you can select the tokens option at the bottom of the weekly vault and then use those tokens to buy a socket on your gear or gold or anything you really want to from the vendor right next to the vault in Silvermoon City. Okay, so now you've upgraded your gear, what I want you to do is start looking at tier set bonuses. This is where you can effectively transform your gear into tier set bonus gear. This is effectively where you have two pieces of equipment, which when you equip them, will give you an extra buff that will enhance your damage, enhance your healing, or provide you with more defensiveness as a tank. It all depends on what spec you are for your chosen character. Now, when you get 4 pieces of equipment, you get an even stronger buff that will naturally further enhance your character even more depending on your spec. To access this transformation, go ahead to the Catalyst in Silvermoon City, which looks like a massive forge, and use your Catalyst charges. You will get additional Catalyst charges as you continue to play the game, get involved in weekly activities, complete weekly quests. This is a wonderful catch-up mechanic that you can make use of right now. You will see a huge upgrade to your gear once you've got 4 tier sets. Right, so now you've got your tier set sorted, your gear upgraded, you should be at about 250 item level right now. At this point, your character is basically online. You're ready for Mythic Plus, heroic raiding, professions, passive gold, vault progression, and optimization. Honestly, this is where Midnight World of Warcraft becomes really fun, because once your character gets rolling, gearing becomes drastically smoother every single week, and there you go. You can either continue to progress on your chosen character, or you can start up an ult and do it all again. This is exactly the progression route I used when I leveled all 4 of my main characters currently and geared them all up to at least 260 item level. I hope that this helped you with this no nonsense, no bloated checklist, no weird spreadsheet gameplay, just straight to the point what you need to do. If it did help you, make sure you subscribe and you get us to that 1,000 subscribers. This is Erosium from GamingHero.io out, and I'll see you in the next video.